How are rating scales used in observation techniques? Have you ever wondered how teachers assess student behavior and performance in the classroom? One effective method is through the use of rating scales in observation techniques. Rating scales are structured tools that help teachers evaluate and record their observations of student behaviors, attitudes, or performance during various classroom activities. They provide a systematic way to judge qualities that may not be easily measured by traditional tests or direct questioning. At their core, rating scales involve assigning a number or descriptor to specific behaviors or characteristics observed in students. For instance, a teacher might use a scale from 1 to 5, where 1 indicates rarely participates and 5 means always participates in class discussions. This approach allows teachers to capture the frequency, intensity, or quality of specific behaviors or skills. There are several types of rating scales commonly used in educational observation. Numerical rating scales assign numbers to levels of performance or behavior, such as 1 to 4 or 1 to 7, with clear definitions for each number. This makes it easy to compare performance over time or between different students. Graphic rating scales use a continuum with descriptive labels like never, sometimes, and always, where the observer marks the point that best fits the observed behavior. Descriptive rating scales provide detailed descriptions for each level of the scale to guide the observer's judgment and reduce subjectivity. Rating scales can be used for single observations or repeated over time to track progress or changes in behavior. They are efficient because they requiring relatively little time to complete, especially if the teacher has prior notes or anecdotal records. When designed well, rating scales offer clear criteria that help teachers make consistent assessments. Using rating scales supports teachers in several ways. They help identify specific areas where a student may need support or intervention. They also provide a systematic way to document student growth or challenges. This documentation can facilitate communication with parents and colleagues by presenting observable data in an understandable format. Additionally, rating scales can supplement other observation methods, such as anecdotal records or checklists, by quantifying behaviors that might otherwise be described qualitatively. However, it is important for teachers to be aware of potential limitations. Rating scales can be influenced by subjective judgment, and there is a tendency for observers to choose middle or neutral ratings if the criteria are not clear. To minimize this, it is essential to define scale points precisely and train observers to use the scales consistently. In summary, rating scales are effective tools in observation techniques for teachers. They transform complex behaviors into measurable data, enabling more accurate assessments and informed instructional decisions. Using rating scales alongside other observation methods can provide a clearer picture of student learning and behavior in the classroom.